Persona 3, the fourth installment in the Persona series, is a game that released in 2006, but was one of the best JRPGs to land on the PS2 and helped push Persona to new heights it hadn't seen before. Persona 3 told the story of overcoming the fear of death and finding purpose in this world and oneself. Over the years, we've seen two different enhanced re-releases, with Persona 3 FES and Persona 3 Portable, both incorporating a couple of different changes. All these three games have not only aged poorly, but have been difficult to gain access to as the years pass by, especially due to the popularity of game collecting. Persona 3 Portable did get a port to modern consoles last year, but being a PlayStation Portable game that got a remaster left a sour taste in people's mouths. For years, fans have been clamoring on about a modern remake for Persona 3, and after years of asking, Atlus finally gave us what we had been asking for. Having been built from the ground up in Unreal Engine 4, Persona 3 Reload was finally brought to life. Persona 3 Reload is a remake based entirely on Persona 3, but with so many changes to the social links, the UI, combat, and the overall entire gameplay to help get you through this amazing game and allow a new generation of gamers a chance to experience this story as you step into the shoes of a teenage high school student as he explores growing friendships and fighting shadows. After playing through this twice now, I'm not afraid to admit that this is the definitive version of Persona 3. Now, if I'm gonna give this game like a review score, it's getting a 10 out of 10. I'm just letting you know right now. But let's talk about why I think Atlus made the perfect remake and will be topping a lot of people's Game of the Year list at the end of 2024. So Persona is a dungeon crawling RPG with social sim elements, combining turn-based battles with the daily life of a student that operates off a calendar system. That's the basics of a modern Persona game. Got it? Good. Persona 3 Reload, like I said, is the complete remake of the original Persona 3, just with a lot of quality of life features and upgraded visuals to a more modern game. Or Persona 5 if I must. This game took a lot of inspiration from Persona 5, alright? It just is what it is. Your days are split between day and night, and during the daytime you explore the slice of life of a teenage high school student, which include building friendships with classmates and many others outside of school as well, and many other activities like studying at the library, visiting the town shrine, or eating at various restaurants around town. And during the night you can hang out with night crawlers like a greedy millionaire or an alcoholic monk, or take part in a part-time job. You can also use the dorm computer, hang out at a club, or do karaoke. The choices are endless. Completing these activities during your free time will help grow your social stats, which are courage, charm, and academics. Social stats will come in handy in unlocking social links that aren't available early on. All the connections you make are all called social links. These social links help with your evening exploration into the dark hour. Dark hour, which is a secret 25th hour between midnight and the next day, where your school becomes a tower called Tartarus, filled with shadows, and only the people with potential can see it, while those that have no potential sit in a coffin, oblivious to what's going on. The story begins with the main protagonist, we'll call him by his canon name Makoto, as his train finally arrives at Port Island Station with his eyes set for his new dorm to get his new school life started as a new transfer student. When he shows up, unbeknownst to him, he is walking in the city as it transforms into the dark hour. He signs a contract with a little boy that basically tells him that he's responsible for his actions and giving your player character a name to be called by. The funny part is that it's a boy that only Makoto can see though. As he starts to settle in, on his third night in the dorm, some weird things start to unfold on a full moon, and you save one of your classmates, Yukari, and unlock your power to Persona. Persona is a manifestation of oneself coming out as a creature that can be used in battle, and Makoto starts off by calling forth Orpheus. In that iconic scene where Makoto picks up the evoker and unleashes Orpheus for the first time, looks beautiful.
Go on. Persona. I am thou, thou art I. From the sea of thy soul I come. I am Orpheus, master of strings.
Following your power being unlocked, you join a team called the Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad, or SEES for short, naming you the leader as you showed leadership qualities and is the only one that wields the power of the wild card, allowing you to switch your persona at any given time. Your team starts off with you and 2 classmates, Yukari and Junpei, with Mitsuru as the navigator. But as you progress through the game, more and more people will join your team, including Akihiko, the boxer, Fuka, the new navigator, with Mitsuru joining you in combat, Shinjiro, the bad boy, Ken, the elementary kid, Koromaru, the dog, and Aigis, the robot. All in an effort to figure out what is making powerful shadows appear outside of Tartarus and the secrets that the tower hides. The best part is that your teammates listen to your direct command, which is a staple of the Persona games, which wasn't around during the original Persona 3. That's the first of many quality of life features that have been added to this game. One addition I loved was the rewind feature, giving you a chance to go back up to 5 prior time blocks and redoing any mistake you make. So if you messed up at any point, say you messed up a social link, you can go back and redo it all over again. The social links were reworked as well. In OG Persona 3, you were only allowed to hang out with your female combatants, but in Reload, they added Link episodes, which are special events in where you can hang out with your male teammates and learn a little bit about them, which wasn't available before. You can even hang out with Strega and learn a little bit of their story as well. Another small detail added was the fact that social links are a little more lenient as opposed to OG Persona 3, and reversing a social links and breaking them didn't happen as much. Not to say it can't happen, because it did happen to me, but hey, if you did, just use the rewind feature to fix it. Easy. You can even friendzone the many females that Makoto will be hanging out with as well. In Persona 3, at the conclusion of a social link, you'd have to romance them no matter what. But in Reload, you can reject them and without an issue. The biggest addition though is the fact that it's completely voice acted. From your love-struck classmate to the sick boy you meet on Sundays. Every single one is voice acted, and that's something I love that was added, and I hope to see in future Persona games that come out in the future. Now the combat has been completely revamped and again Persona 5'd. The basic turn-based combat that is established in the Persona series, where attacking weaknesses give you an extra attack or an all-out group attack, is still there. But the first big addition is the baton pass from Persona 5 Royal returning, being called Shift. After landing an attack that strikes a weakness of an enemy, you will get a 1 more, allowing you to shift your turn to a different party member, allowing you to exploit more weaknesses and unleashing combos with your teammates. Truthfully, this does make combat easy, but it does speed it up, especially if you're learning more and more of the enemies you encounter in Tartarus. Look, let's be honest here, Tartarus is a grind, and any way to speed that up is a plus in my book. There's also a new mechanic called Synergy attacks added to Reload. Each character will have a Synergy gauge in which you raise as you do battle with shadows. Doing specific action with certain characters will help charge the gauge quicker as well, like Yukari healing the party will help her gauge grow. Once the gauge is filled, you activate a Synergy attack, which can hit for some serious damage and can come up clutch in a tight moment. The main protagonist gets access to multiple according to how many personas you've unlocked in the Persona Compendium, and your other teammates get access to 2. Shuffle time makes a return too, and it's a little easier than before. After Makoto lands a finishing blow or ends on an all-out attack, you'll be dealt cards that are laid out for you to choose from. These cards can come with some experience boosts, 2 new personas to unlock, and later fuse in the Velvet Room for more powerful personas. Tartarus had some changes as well, don't worry. For the most part, the concept of climbing Tartarus to grind and to test yourself for the full moon shadows to certain points that get you luck by story progression is still there. Tartarus was always going to be one of those tough things for Atlus to fix, especially in the times that we're in now. But hey, there's no more fatigue system implemented in Reload like there was in Persona 3. And thank you Atlus, because the fatigue system was atrocious. As you progress through Tartarus, you will encounter some breakable objects that can net you some useless items, but also net you some Twilight Fragments. Twilight Fragments are collectibles scattered in the open world or Tartarus that you can use to unlock locked chests that appear throughout the dungeon and can give you some rarer rewards than standard chests. You can also use them in the small clock that spawns on the floor or at the front door of Tartarus to fully heal your party, which is what I used it for. If you use your Twilight Fragments, there's a small chance you can spawn a giant clock by the stair of your floor that allows you to raise up to 2 party members to Makoto's current level at free of charge, even if they're not in your current party and are on standby. And that definitely mitigated the grind that comes with Tartarus, and especially with the party members you tend to forget about from time to time. One change that I really enjoyed was the addition of the monad doors. These are doors that will appear in Tartarus that will house some extremely challenging shadows, but if you manage to make it through, you will get some awesome rewards, and will give you the floor layout for the current floor and the floor that follows, which can be extremely valuable information. The Velvet Room is still the same as always. Igor is eager to help you in your journey, from fusing personas to allowing you to purchase old personas you fused before, alongside his Velvet Room attendant Elizabeth, who will give you requests that will serve as your side quests for this game. She is also useful in finding information for humans that go missing and need rescuing in Tartarus, so don't forget to talk to her from time to time. And hey, she might hang out with you too. Persona 3 Reload was everything and more that I could have asked for from a remake of Persona 3. Being that Persona 3 is nearly a 20-year game, they really captured the beauty of Persona 3 and added some awesome visuals, the new quality of life features, the revamped gameplay, heck, even the new music like the title track Full Moon Full Life or It's Going Down Now, and all the rest that were reworked are so awesome to hear and really nostalgic as well. We also got an announcement for some DLC for Persona 3 Reload. It's good and bad. The good is that we'll be getting an expansion pass, which includes some background music, some new costumes, leading up to the epilogue of Persona 3 called Episode Aigis, which comes from Persona 3 FES sometime in September. The bad part, we gotta pay for it. And it sucks for people like me who got the collector's edition and now has to pay an extra, $35 for the DLC. That really sucks. But hey, it's modern gaming, so can't be too mad about it. Looks like we won't be getting the female protagonist Kitone from Persona 3 Portable, and that also really sucks. Nevertheless, I highly recommend you get a playthrough of Persona 3 Reload and experience this awesome game for yourself. And Atlas, you deserve a round of applause for this one. But Atlas, get on that Persona 2 remake. Let me know in the comments if you finished Persona 3 Reload and what's your thoughts on the game. And if you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel for more gaming content like my review on Persona 5 Tactical, which should be right here, or what YouTube thinks you'll like from my channel, which should be right here. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you over here.